Good morning to everyone. I hope that some of you can.
Nobody's listening.
It's a rowdy crowd this morning. Shh. Some of you may want to spread around over the back over here just so you'll have room, because people have a way of coming in. So, yeah, there you go. Make your way around. And I'm delighted to be joined by the Senate Pro Tem today, Senator Jim Hendren, and the Speaker of the House, Matthew Shepard. I'll tell you that there has not been better partners that anyone could ask for in passing these bills than these two gentlemen up here. This was an enormous lift. It was hard. It was difficult in negotiation. They got it done. They got it passed, and I'm very proud of the fact that they're able to stand with me as we sign these bills into legislation. Last night, I happened to catch the local news, and it was interesting that the story was about a lady who decided to take it upon herself to fix a pothole. And she literally went out and bought gravel. She went and she filled in the pothole, and she says, this might just save 5 cars, but it's worth it. And it really illustrates where we are right now in the state of Arkansas, and the reason that these highway funding bills got such incredible support, because the need is evident. And that's the reason that they have been passed. Today I will be signing the transportation funding bill, which is, of course, in 2 parts. One of them I will sign, one I will not sign, but is a direct referral to the voters. I'll also be signing 2 reform bills today that I wanted to mention and include as part of the package today, because I believe they were integral in making sure that there was broad support for this effort. And I also, in addition to introducing the Speaker and Pro Tem, I wanted to recognize Senator Dale Rice. Senator Dale Rice carried the legislation, SB 336, on the Senate. Thank you, Senator Rice, and Representative Holcomb, who I don't believe is here, but he carried that bill, did an excellent job. We have here today the Highway Commissioners and Scott Bennett. Scott, are you here? Thank you, and all the commissioners. I know Tom Schick, Chairman, Robert Moore, Alec Farmer, Philip Taldo, and Keith Gibson. Thank you for your leadership, and the people of Arkansas are entrusting a lot to you. And so a lot's on your shoulders, and we know that you will do a great job in spending this money wisely and helping us with the rest of the campaign. In addition, I wanted to recognize Shannon Newton, CEO of Arkansas Trucking, Joe Quinn, Good Roads Foundation, Park Estes, Asphalt Paving Association, and I know I'm just touching the surface, and all those that have helped us in this effort and recognize the need for transportation funding. I want to make a couple points today. First of all, this is historic. It's a historic highway funding bill, both in terms of its breadth, in terms of its size, and in terms of what it will accomplish for the people of this state. It is the largest highway plan in state's history. I look back in 1985, we had the Rural Road Program, $40 million. 1991, the Highway Improvement Plan, $50 million. 1999, the Interstate Rehabilitation Program, $60 million. 2012, the CAP, what's that stand for? Connecting Arkansas program, $175 million. And yet today, in 2019, we're passing a highway plan of $300 million to the state of Arkansas to support the maintenance and construction of highways and infrastructure. This is a balanced plan. There's never been a highway plan that is balanced in this fashion, in which it has new sources of revenue for highways, including the casino tax revenue, as well as registration fees on hybrids and electric cars. It has general revenue commitment that was insisted upon, and tighten the belt on general revenue so we can support highways and do our share there. But it also includes a referral to the voters that they can make the decision on really the largest chunk of it, yes or no, on this highway plan, and gives them the final say-so. And then finally, it's a growing source of revenue that will be for highways in the future. These are escalating whenever you have a sales tax component to it. And so it makes it balanced, it makes it historic in terms of its size. And then I want to mention that it was passed with the broadest bipartisan support that can be imagined in funding a highway program. And again, that shows the level of need and the level of support. The SB 336, the $95 million portion of it, was passed with 27 votes in the Senate and 71 votes in the House. That includes Democrats and Republicans. The half-cent referral, and I did want to recognize the sponsors of the half-cent referral, which is Representative Wardlaw, Senator Lance Eads is here. Who did I miss? Thank you both for leading this effort that passed by 25 votes in the Senate and 67 votes in the House. Great work, legislative partners, in succeeding on this effort. We came together to get this job done. It was not easy, and while you look back on that large vote and say, well, this was a piece of cake, it was not. And the most difficult part is coming together around one plan that we could all say, this is what we can support. And that took some compromise, it took some sacrifice, it took a lot of leadership. And because we did that, we have been successful. And finally, I mentioned it includes two reform bills, that SB 385 and 386, sponsored by Senator Dismang and Representative Davis. Thank you all for being a part of this effort to bring support, because this provides for an independent study and review of the operations of the Highway Department to make sure that we can learn from it and they can learn from it. It also provides an increased role of the Commission in improving proposed legislation. These are good reform efforts that I'll be signing today as well. And with that, I'll ask the Senate Pro Tem and the Speaker if they have any comments before I sign the bill.
Well, I just want to add, it is a big day. I want to also, I don't know who Senator Dale Rice is, but I want to thank Senator Terry Rice over there for, I love it when I get to correct the governor. But in seriousness, to get 27 votes for a bill that includes a $95 million in additional fees and taxes in a Republican legislature is an incredible lift. And I'm not sure anybody else could have done it as well as Senator Rice did, and the same with Senator Eads on his work on the constitutional amendment. I'm proud of the work that we've done. Again, I was telling somebody I've been in the legislature a long time, and I don't think I've ever voted for a tax increase, but somehow I'm sponsoring this one. But it just goes to show, I think all of us have come to realize how important roads are. We got a new interstate opened in the Bella Vista Bypass 540, and I get more feedback about how much people enjoy the investment in roads and infrastructure than almost any other thing. So I think it's a great thing for Arkansas, and I'm glad that we were able to get it accomplished as quickly as we were.
I'd just like to echo the comments of the governor and Senator Hendren. I'm very proud of the work that we were able to accomplish here. I think that these bills are really a model of how the legislative process should work. And I know that in my conversations with the governor and Senator Hendren, there were a lot of back and forth on these issues, and ultimately we found common ground. And also I'd like to mention the House sponsorship, Representative Wardlaw, Representative Holcomb, and then Representative Davis did a lot of work on the highway bill as well, and obviously the reform bill. But then even beyond that, as the governor mentioned, we had really broad-based support, and there's a number of House members here that were very supportive, and I'd like to thank them. I can't name all of them at this time because, you know, with 71 and 67, there's a lot of names. We'd be here for a little while. But it really, I think, is something we can be proud of. As I came into the role of Speaker, I'm not one that tries to lay out a bunch of things that I absolutely want to see happen, but, you know, in my own mind, highway funding was a big thing and was something that we should really work to accomplish. And I'm proud to say, with the signing of this bill and hopefully with the trust and confidence and vote of the people, that we will put to bed the highway funding issue for the foreseeable future. And I'd like to thank the governor, Senator Hendren, and all of my colleagues for their work on this. Thank you.
All right, so this is Senate Bill 336 by Senator Price and Representative Holcomb to provide additional revenue to maintain and repair highways. I am signing this bill. It's March 12th, 2019. Right? Over here. Thank you. All right, and then the next one is, I wanted to recognize House Joint Resolution, which is the referral of the amendment to the Arkansas Constitution. I have no prerogative, I don't sign this. This is a legislative prerogative. I want to congratulate them on passing this referral to the people of Arkansas, which is a critical part of this highway plan. And then Senate Bill 386 by Senator Dismang and Representative Davis. I will sign this reform piece of legislation into law. Then Senate Bill 385, also by Senator Dismang and Representative Davis, to study the Arkansas Department of Transportation processes, procedures, and procurement. And I'll sign that into law as well. So, well done. Good job. Yep. So we'll see if there's any questions that you all have. Yes.
With Hutchinson extension being on the ballot next year, what role, if any, do you plan on playing in campaigning for it?
I intend to do what's necessary to make sure the voters are aware of that, educated about it, and I'll work to see that a work in the campaign is needed.
There's a couple of proposals to change the minimum wage initiative that was just passed. So first, do you support any of those measures? And second, in seeking this proposal for voters in 2020, how do you express to them with confidence that, I guess, this initiative will be carried out with fidelity when there's been efforts to change something that was just passed in 2018?
You say how the dynamics change on passing the half-cent sales tax?
Well, I guess I'm just asking if, since there are some proposals to change something that the voters just approved in 2018, does that in any way change the politics of selling that to voters moving forward in 2020?
I don't think so. I mean, we've been very transparent that there's two parts to this bill. There's the immediate needs, the $95 million funding that goes toward maintenance and other needs that are current. This is something that the legislature felt strongly that if we're going to extend the half-cent sales tax, the voters ought to decide about that. That's their decision. So we've been very transparent about it. I think it has broad popular support. I think the need is that they are clear as to how this money is going to be spent and that it's going to be spent fairly and distributed appropriately, and that'll be part of the messaging. In terms of the minimum wage laws, bills that have been sponsored, we'll continue to look at those. Anytime you alter a initiative act that's passed by an overwhelming majority of the Arkansas voters, you're hesitant about that. There should be a heavy burden to say that that is needed. And I know that there's concerns about teenage employment and others, but we want to look at those very carefully and with close scrutiny. And there's one, for example, on the teenagers that are going to school. I think if you're under 21 and you're going to school, there is a waiver that's available for an employer that wants to hire a student that can offer a sub-minimum wage. And we want to make sure that they're aware of that and see whether that legislation is actually needed.
How do you see these gas taxes and fuel taxes increases? Are you expecting a bunch of Republican primaries? You're going to have to get involved in, bring up the ASAP Act to defend those people? Or how do you think this is going to play?
Well, I expect the decisions of the legislators who supported this highway plan will be well supported among the public. I think it shows that. And so it's too early to talk politics for next year.
Unrelated, I know you talked last week on stand your ground. Have you had a further chance to look at that legislation or any position on it yet?
I think that the committee acted on that last week and did not pass it out of committee, so we'll see where it goes. Beyond that, I think our current law is strong in terms of allowing self-defense and protection, and we will continue to see if there could be a case made that should be changed, but I'm hesitant to change from what we have right now that I think works very well in Arkansas. I think that is something that needs to be addressed. As to whether that is the right balance, we'll continue to look at that. All right, thank you all very much for being here today.